All right, so straps. I know a lot of you guys will be using straps either for the first time, or the second thing that I see quite commonly is people use their straps, but they're not as tight as they should be or could be. We want, if we're going to use these straps, the purpose is to take the pressure off your grip. So when you're using the straps, you want to feel like you can apply almost no pressure through your grip, and the straps are so tightly holding the bar to your wrist that it's actually just your joints that are holding the weight, essentially. Okay, so is to take the pressure off your grip. If you feel like they kind of work, but they're not that tight and they don't really help, if you're using your straps properly, they should take, exactly as I've just described, so much pressure off your hands and your grip that you think, wow, the difference is phenomenal. Okay, so if you are not experiencing that, they're not tight enough. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to feed my hand through the loop, obviously, and then I'm going to get them as tight as I possibly can. All right, tight as possibly can on the wrist first. Now you should have the dangly bit, should be by your thumb, all right? Because you're going to use your thumb to feed it around the bar. On the second hand, same thing, feed your hand through the strap, tighten it, tighten it, tighten it. You should have the dangly bit, again, by your thumb, so both are the same, all right? Now when you approach the bar, you've got to feed, there's two sides. Oftentimes with your straps, there's a grippy side with some writing or logo or text, and then there's a softer side. Some don't have that, but most do. You're going to feed it with the soft side underneath the bar. Now the first one is easy because you can use your other hand, so I'm using my left hand to help my right, and I'm going to use my right hand to hold it as I feed it round and round the bar. Now from here, my grip is really, really tight already, but what you can do to tighten it even further is hold the bar and you can kick your wrist around the bar like that, twisting the bar and essentially tightening it and feeding through this little dangly bit. I don't know if you can see that. This little dangly bit that's still round in the palm of my hand, you can tighten it even more. So when it comes to the other side, I'm going to do the same thing, but now you have to do one-handed. So you're going to feed the soft side through on the underneath of the bar. So see that? Underneath of the bar, soft side through. Use your finger and thumb to feed it round to yourself. Keep feeding it round to yourself, and then again you can tighten it like this. Think about like how you would rev a motorbike, or how you would assume somebody revs a motorbike. You want to kind of twist. So I'm going to start here in order, that's super loose, right? I'm going to just feed it through and catch it first, but that does absolutely nothing right there. So I'm going to keep feeding it through, and the idea from here is it's fully fed through, but I can feel it's not tight enough. So I'm going to twist, grab, twist, grab, and you can feel it tighten on your wrist. Now you might need to play about with this a little bit, but it is so unbelievably tight on my wrists. I feel like if I do a set that lasts too long, I would get circulation cut off of my hands. I'm sure that wouldn't happen, but that's how it feels. It feels that tight. So that's what you should be looking for, okay? Now, additional points about straps. I wouldn't recommend you use them for every exercise. Once you do nail these, they make things so easy that it's tempting to use them for absolutely everything. I wouldn't recommend that. When we use straps or any form of external assistance, we've got to understand that they take the pressure off your hands. Therefore, your hands never need to be challenged if you're using them for everything. So when we use them, we don't want to overuse them because then your grip will get even weaker. Now, if you always have straps, you might ask, well, what's the problem with that? I've always got my straps. Does it matter if they're weaker? And the answer is yes, because when the bigger muscles in your body, the ones that produce a lot of force, get much stronger, then all the little supporting tissue that support your joints, as the force gets conducted through those joints, those little wrists, if these supporting tissue, your hands and everything like that, are not comparatively at least strong enough to keep up with some of the load that can be produced by the strength that is often increasing over time in the bigger muscles as we train them, you can end up with joint pain, you can end up with tendinopathy, and some serious issues that's going to limit your training. So we want some strength in the hands, but some of our exercises, it's okay to use straps for the block. I recommend picking 2, maybe 3 at a push, but really don't try and overuse them if you can avoid it. And that's straps for you. Really great tool, not to be overused, and yeah, just try and master them as best you can. Hope this helps.